How much information about the nature of reality can be gleaned from a very small amount of information? For instance, a small event, a little micro event, like taking a drink of water, or noticing that you meant to write down one word, but you accidentally wrote down another word you were thinking of writing 30 seconds from now. So the idea here is that almost all of the information, all of the general information about how reality works can be kind of reverse engineered from any sufficiently um, deep analysis of anything, anything, any event. So how you can achieve this is always ask yourself, always reserve a portion of your consciousness for observing what you're doing and how you're doing it, or not just you, but what's occurring and how it's occurring, um, what dynamics are at play, and the mechanics of those dynamics. So, and if you make that a habit, you'll not pretty quickly, but very slowly, you'll over years, I guess, you'll start to get a sense for the nuts and bolts, the under the hood machinations of everything, really, the laws of reality. Um, so a few examples here to help ground this, because it's so far it's pretty airy fairy. Hmm. So okay, getting meta here. I just sent a query for something, a micro event, something to say, and then what did I do? I looked to the side and I started chewing my lip. So if I were to go deeply into that, um, could consider that as one event, or we could consider that as two events. Um, Looking to the side, chewing my lip, sending a query, uh, or we could go even deeper and consider it as any number of intermediate events. um, and it's a very deceptively sophisticated process by which anything happens, especially cognitive processes and behavioral. I sent a query for an example. I look to the side. Why might I look to the side? Okay, so that's what I did. Now why might I do it, or what might cause it, and how is that accomplished? So how is looking, moving your head to the side, looking to the side, how is that accomplished? Um, well, obviously some electrical stuff from your brain to your muscles, so signals. So the existence of a signal in general is more or less deducible from, or inferable from just this event, looking to the side, um, because it presupposes the way our brain works, our spinal cord, nerve signals, electrical signals in the body. Um, and I'm abbreviating here and simplifying, because it is, the point I'm trying to make is it is an infinitely, or nearly infinitely, I'm not sure whether I want to say infinitely, but very rich process um, of accomplishing any behavior, anything. And that includes human behavior and the behavior of the universe, or a rock falling down a mountain. How does a rock fall down a mountain? Um, if you were to break that down and kind of zoom in on all the processes, what motivated it? Not that a rock has motivation, but in a sense it does. Uh, it has to obey its the inertial laws of our particular universe. Billiard balls bumping together, etc. Which is basically what's going on in the brain when I decide, or didn't decide, but it just kind of happened. I look to the side, look to the side. It's more or less billiard balls in my brain bumping up against each other. Agendas. Well, there's the mechanical billiard ball thing effect within my body. The electrical signal here triggers the electrical signal here, triggers the electrical signal in the muscle all the way down the chain. So there's that, and then also the mental billiard balls, the little virtual modules in the mind. They're bumping up against each other and kind of having sex with each other and trying to figure out how to decide, how to come to a conclusion or make a make a decision. So I was sending a query in my mind for something I wanted to find, and that was serving some purpose, which would be making this video, making a point, making an impact, or whatever, you know. And then while I was sending that query, I moved my head to the side. Okay, now why might I do that, and how might that occur? Possibly, and it's a little frustrating because there's not really any way to verify your theories, but possibly to release some kind of strain, or gather some mental resources, divert them from, say, maybe looking right into the lens takes a portion of my retrieving ability, because I was trying to retrieve some information or an example, and looking away from the camera possibly allowed me to retrieve or to relieve some of that pressure, so that now I have more resources available to accomplish that retrieval. And we could go on and on and on about how what the event was and how it occurred, the little phases of the head move. Why did it stop here and not here? Yeah, we could zoom in infinitely deep on any aspect of the the spatial movement of that movement, any aspect of the mental processes that underlie what caused that to happen. And then if you understood all that, you could even go deeper and start to try to discern the universal processes which underlie those mental processes. So the final point I'm trying to get to is any event or dynamic, anything that happens, over time, over a period of time, contains almost I'm not quite ready to say all, but almost all of the information you need to uh, understand everything about reality. If you were to sit here and break down and zoom into every little thing, you find everything else. Um, Trying to figure out different ways to say this to make the point clearer. You know, every microcosm reflects the macrocosm, blah, blah, blah. Uh, I guess it's like that Alan Watts quote. He was relaying some guy's psychedelic drug trip, and the guy came down from his trip and said, "All the world is implied by the smell of burnt almonds." So uh, that's kind of the same thing here. It's how good can you get? I guess is my challenge to you. How good can you get at observing anything, any little thing, taking anything, wiggling your hand, watching somebody drop their coffee, or any pattern, anything, observing any phenomenon at all. And to make it more challenging, you can kind of compress and see how small of a phenomenon, how seemingly insignificant you can observe and analyze. How good can you get at observing that phenomenon and sitting down with a piece of paper or just in your head, breaking it down and trying to infer how that infers all the general principles that emanate or are implied by that event? What would have to be true for that event to occur, that phenomenon to exist? What? All right, I think I'm done. Uh, confusing enough? I think you get the point. I don't know. Um, just try try it out. Just take a small event and just freestyle analyze it and see, just make the connection that any micro thing implies infinitely many principles, uh, um, and all of the general rules of reality that govern everything. Peace.